welcome everyone to our latest presentation on procalcitonin to reduce long-term infection-associated adverse effects in septic patients. This paper was recently published in American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. So since we know that procalcitonin guided discontinuation of antibiotic therapy has already been demonstrated to reduce mortality and antibiotic exposure. Now, based on this, the authors tried to look whether the use of this strategy will have a long-term benefit. So the PROGRESS trial was conducted to investigate whether the PCT-guided early discontinuation of antibiotic therapy could reduce the incidence of death due to multi-drug resistant organisms and acquisition infection by C. difficile or MDROs. So what were the inclusion and the exclusion criteria? Patients who were adults hospitalized with lower respiratory tract infection, community hospital or ventilator, acute pyelonephritis, or primary bloodstream infection meeting the sepsis 3 definition were included. Excluded patients were any of the following criteria: denying written consent, pregnancy, lactation, receiving prolonged antibiotic therapy, severe infection due to virus and parasites, mycobacterial infection, cystic fibrotic patients, and severely immunocompromised patients. The first 24 hours from the start of an antibiotics, patient were 1:1 randomized. The attending physician prescribed antimicrobials according to the European and national guidelines. Blood samples were collected at baseline and on day 5 for procalcitonin measurement. Antibiotics were discontinued if PCT was reduced by at least 80% or if it was less than 0.05. But the treating physician could continue antibiotics if the patient was unstable clinically. Now, what were the primary outcomes in this trial? The rate of infection associated adverse events until day 180 was the primary outcome. This was the endpoint which composed of the following: a new case of C. difficile, a new case of MDRO, or death associated with either of these two infections. Total 961 patients were assessed for eligibility. Out of this, 266 were randomized. Out of this, 130 were analyzed and followed up in the intervention group. 125 were analyzed in the control group. So coming to the results, the demographic profile was almost similar in both the groups, and here we can see that the non-compliance with PCT stopping was followed in almost 10% in the PCT control, which means that all these patients were clinically unstable and in them the antibiotics were not stopped according to the protocol of this particular trial. Now coming to the primary outcome, the PCT guided therapy showed us clinical benefit. There was reduction in number of infection and there was reduction in mortality compared to the standard of care. Here 9 events, that is 7% of the patients had this problem, while 20 patients or almost 15% of the patients had the composite outcome at day 180. This was primarily driven from in-hospital and 28-day reduction in mortality. Now here again we see the adverse effects. The antibiotic related adverse effects were more in the standard care group, almost double, especially like diarrhea, acute kidney injury, which could be because of prolonged antibiotic therapy. Now what were the limitations in this trial? Limited stool sampling and the generalizability of the results can be debated because it was a single center trial, it is an open label trial, and it was conducted in a country with high antimicrobial consumption and high antimicrobial resistance. So the take home is we will continue to use PCT for de-escalation of antibiotics in our practice. It is a positive trial which reinforces our practice and shows us the benefit of using PCT for de-escalation. Thank you for your patience and check our website for further information.